I'll just get started here. Can people hear me?
I can
Yes,
hear you,
Joel.
Joel.
Yes.
Okay, good. Okay, they want to be talking to myself. Anyway, thanks to everyone that joined us tonight. There is right now we are up to 380 people. So thanks for taking time out of your evening. Um, Tonight we're going to explain kind of the transition from the traditional email method of communicating to the NASCO app. And we'll also talk about that other elephant in the room for a little bit. For those of you that do not know me, my name's Joel Foster. I never set out to be the NASCO president. It just sort of happened. I was sitting in Watertown, South Dakota at a NASCO state convention, and these two ladies named Jessie Colgrove and Janae Prescott talked me into running for the Northwest Area Alt Exec. And then NASCO hosted the 2018 National Convention, and it just kept steamrolling and progressing. Just a little bit about me. I have 33 years of service come January, with almost all of those years as the CD in Northeast South Dakota in this town called Millbank of about 3,300 people, which is also the birthplace of American Legion Baseball. So in my other hobbies, I'm a little involved with the baseball program. Yes, I have experienced a few of these free furloughs, with one of them being a little bit different from one to the next in how we operated. I'm not going to sit here and say whether or not there's going to be a government shutdown. So at this point, we simply do not yet know. The purpose of this meeting is to explain how NASCO will communicate in the event of a government shutdown. Because it is going to be a little bit differently than we have in the past because of our new system that we're on. But I can tell you, we are in communication with the national office. In the event of a furlough, we have offered our assistance in providing information. And in the event of a shutdown, there is no reason to panic. We need to concentrate on the matters we can control, whether that be personally or professionally. There's a lot of parts of it that we simply are out of our hands. This is not the first time this has happened, and it will not be the last time. And I would encourage all you as state association leaders to have plans in place for an open means of a communication with your state offices. So how did this NASCO app come to be? Well, I don't really quite understand it, how it came to be, but because technology is not my strong point. But we were looking for a new website design, as our old system was not easy to navigate. We were looking to become more modern with our way of communicating with members. And this app thing has become the new norm. So it was time for NASCO to catch up with modern times. We would like to thank Cal Sherhouse from Florida and Donna Hines from Texas for being the lead technology coordinators on this project over the past year. It did not happen overnight. It was a year-long process of dedication by several people who will be speaking tonight. The NASCO app was officially launched in time for the Northwest Area Rally that was held in Anchorage, Alaska in March. I was even able to download the NASCO app and even post while in Alaska. So if I can do it, anybody can do it. So it's clear that it is user-friendly. Then on about June 13th, we sent out a mass email through our old email system, informing everyone we were moving to the NASCO app. This email was based on the emails that have been active in the old MailChimp system. That database was transferred from MailChimp over to the NASCO app, and the MailChimp is no longer available. Since that time, we've sent out several other emails saying that we are moving to the NASCO app, but with our new provider, we are somewhat limited in the number of emails that can be sent without it costing NASCO more funds. So in other words, the most efficient option for most of our communication is by simply posting on the NASCO app versus sending out mass emails. In addition, you'll see by some stats I'm going to read off, the email system is not very efficient at communicating with membership. The MailChimp process relied upon members registering their email addresses on the old NASCO website. We have 3,849 members loaded on the NASCO app database. There are currently 1,457 registered users, so 2,392 members in the database have not downloaded and requested access to the app. And as of June 30th, NASCO has about 4,800 members. So as you can see, we have a long ways of getting anybody even registered in our database, let alone access to the app. The most recent mass email that we sent out was a legislative update that was in combination with information on how to register for the NASCO app. There were 3,686 emails sent out. There were 2,352 opened, 1,130 not opened, 177 ignored, and 27 emails bounced. So as you can see, the email-based system of communicating with membership is not all that efficient because it relies on people to actually read the email. The information was sent out in that email was also posted on the app. And as a registered user of the app, I can say it was much easier for me to access the information rather than checking my email. Like I said, this is coming from a technologically challenged old guy who really does not understand how this thing works. But I do know is it did show up on my app. So if I can do it, anybody can. We will still have the NASCO website that will be available to the public. However, not all of our news bulletin updates will be available on the public website. The website will be reserved for general NASCO business, along with information that might be of interest to the public. It was not feasible for NASCO to have an unlimited number of registered users on the app, so we have limited it to members only. And as you can see, we have a long ways to go to get our members registered as a user for the app. And due to the limited number of emails that we can send via the app, almost all the bulletins and updates will be posted on the app versus sent out via email. So NASCO needs the help of state associations to get our membership access to the app. The membership and publicity committee, along with our technology team, will explain how this is going to happen, as I know just enough to be dangerous. But if I was able to do it, anybody can. But before we get into the meat of the call, there is an important announcement. So we have tentatively scheduled an all-member call on October 12th at 7:00 p.m. Central to finalize the Secretary of State merger that was recommended for approval at the NASCO convention. Yes, this could be expanded to discuss other topics if need be, but the focus will be on the approval of the Secretary of State merger from where we currently are in the state of New York to the state of South Dakota that is much more corporate friendly, and it will enable us to serve our membership needs in a better environment. But before we get to the NASCO app experts, to correct all the stuff that I just said, because I'm sure I messed up someplace regarding the app, we'll turn this over to Clint Bain and David McBride, our legislative co-chairs, and they will give us the latest updates on the elephant in the room, the potential government shutdown. So I will yield my time.
Okay. Well, thank you, Joel, and thank you to Kayla and the entire EC for putting on tonight's call. It's very important to have this information available to our members at all times, but especially during this most critical time concerning our budget. Clint Bain is also co-legislative chair, and he's unfortunately not able to join us tonight. But just wanted to give a brief overview of what your legislative committee has been working on. Last Wednesday, September the 20th, your committee, along with Hunter Moorhead, our legislative consultant, issued a legislative update concerning the status of our 2024 ag appropriations bills, both in the House and the Senate. And to give you just a quick overview of what those bills encompassed, the House ag appropriations bill did not recommend a reduction in funding from the 23 level, which we were very fortunate to see because most agencies did experience some reductions in their funding for salaries and expenses, but FSA was not. And then the Senate Ag Appropriations Bill included a $15.8 million increase for salaries and expenditures. So the committee continues to carefully monitor where we're at with these two important bills. And obviously, both the House and the Senate versions will have to come together in a committee setting, and they will hash out the final appropriations bill for 24. And we remain optimistic that we will have a ag appropriations bill that's somewhere in the middle between no cuts or a slight increase. So we remain optimistic about that. Included in the news bulletin, we did touch base about where we stood with the funding. And on September the 12th, Congress came back from their August recess and began working for the next 2.5 weeks on a budget. Each House and the Senate had their appropriations bills tentatively agreed upon, but they needed to start passing appropriations. As we continue to move towards the September 30th deadline, the window is continuing to narrow, and obviously at this point, Congress needs to focus on a continuing resolution or a CR. And so if we do get a CR, it is anticipated that we would be able to operate at the 23 levels. Now, that being said, we've all seen in the news articles and from our contacts with our congressional leaders and stakeholders that it does appear that there's a possibility of a government shutdown looming. So in the bulletin, we included what we could potentially expect in the event of a shutdown. One of the most pressing questions that we've received is, will we be guaranteed receiving our back pay and leave in the event of a lapse in funding or a furlough situation? And from the last government shutdown we had, which was in 2019, the government had passed a Government Fair Treatment Act, and in that act, employees were guaranteed to receive any missed pay and leave that was earned during a lapse of funding. In addition, employees will continue to be able to maintain their federal health benefits as well as any dental and vision plans. So we've had a lot of employees that had doctor's appointments scheduled and they were concerned if they would have their benefits, but they would be protected under that act. In addition, we had touched base about, Joel had mentioned we promoted the NASCO app because that's where we're going to provide the latest updates as we receive them. As Joel indicated, this is a very fluid situation, even though the deadline ends September the 3rd, September. House has got 4 votes on there, four bills that are pending for vote, which the House Ag Appropriation Bill is one of those 4. And currently, the Senate is working on their version of a CR or a continuing to speak. We hope that we would have a vote potentially between 10 to 11 o'clock tonight. If there's a continuation of my teams keeps cutting in and out, but anyhow, I hope that y'all can still hear me. But the Senate version of the continuing resolution does appear that they want to extend our funding to November the 17th. And in that resolution, they've also included funding for the Ukrainian war, funding for the Federal Aviation Administration to be able to work through the end of the calendar year, and to continue funding for SNAP and WIC funding benefits. So there is action going on. if the Senate is able to pass this bipartisan agreement, it would go to the House for their consideration, and we will continue to monitor. Is there, at that point, Joel, we'll turn it back over to you.
Thanks, David. Yeah, you did cut out a little bit, but we caught most of what you were saying. So,
Sorry about that.
oh no, that's fine. Yeah, we caught most of it. Basically, they're working on something in the Senate, and that'll get sent over to the House for consideration.
Right, yes.
So, okay, thanks. And Clint and David are staying on top of this along with their legislative team. So it's a full-time process for them. So thank you for all your efforts and for this last couple weeks and the weeks moving forward. So and so now we'll turn it over to the NASCO app people. I don't know. I think membership was going to go first, or publicity, or the experts. So they got that figured out how they're going to go first. So I will just shut up and let them take over on telling us how we're going to get access to this app and the plan and how we're going to communicate going forward. And this isn't really just in the event of a shutdown. That's kind of created the urgency, but this is how we're going to be operating for the foreseeable future. Well, at least while I'm employed, because I'm at the end of my career. So, and I had a tough time changing this. I don't know if I could handle changing to something else, but anyway, I'll shut up and turn it over.
Hey, Joel, thank you. This is, for those who don't know me, my name is Glenn Thomas. I'm the NASCO membership co-chair along with Miss Emily Sire here from Nebraska. If you can't tell from my New Yorker's accent, I'm actually from South Carolina. Just want to give a quick shout out. We appreciate what everybody's been doing. We've seen a market increase in the numbers reaching out for the app, as Joel has mentioned earlier. But we got to keep this ball rolling. You know, we do see things on the horizon, and we always try to plan ahead, but you have to always look where you are right now. At the end of the fiscal year, which was June of 2023, NASCO stood at 70%. We still got a lot of work to do. I think with in-state meetings, we're going to have these opportunities, district meetings, and as we're now getting back out there together, we all need to work together. I do know the membership team, the committee has been working hard with publicity as well, trying to get additional tools out to states. They are going to be coming online real soon. We just had the org meeting. So you're going to see some new, fresh information to share. Hopefully it will help explain things a little bit more. And the biggest thing we need to be looking at is our membership. Now's an opportunity, you know, with so much going on, everybody's wanting to know what NASCO has going on, and to be able to do that, this app is the new way. So when you're getting and talking to non-members or members, we need to be sure that they've provided their most up-to-date personal cell numbers and email addresses, because that is how we get in communications, especially the personal email, because we cannot use government email. Now you need to reach out to them and gain this information right now. Many of you have information that's been provided by Miss Emily or myself with the big help of Mr. Cal Shiraus and Miss Donna Hines. The biggest thing I would say between now and then, if you get someone to go to sign up, get your 4044 signed quickly and get it submitted to state office quickly as possible. Again, I do want to mention, before I step back and let Miss Emily speak, you know, as we said many times during the call, we're not confirming a shutdown, but you know, we're always here. We're here to help. If it does occur, don't worry, there's going to be more instructions on how to help out. So with that, I'm going to step back and let Miss Emily Sire speak.
Everybody can hear me okay.
So I am just going to highlight just a few more items just to add on to what Glenn had to say for everybody. So we really want to challenge our states to reach out to non-members this week. So if there's anyone in your offices or your neighboring offices that are non-members, or if you know of any coworkers that are new, please try and take time to reach out to them and let them know that NASCO is an available resource to them. If you ever are unsure of who to contact as far as a NASCO leader, please start with your area execs. There is a listing on the website. They're listed on the fact sheet. And there's also area maps shown on the website too, which are really helpful if you're unsure which state that your area is in. Glenn mentioned the 444s. If you receive any this week, please try and get them processed as soon as possible so that we can get those members added into the app right away and get that communication line opened up. If new members are signing up, then we need to let our area membership chairs know a little bit of information about these members to get them added into the app. The information they will need is their first and last name, their personal email address, their membership type, whether they're an associate member or a full member, and their state association. So if you get new members, hopefully you will in this week ahead of us, please, please, please get this information out to us as soon as possible so we can make sure that they are signed up for the app and they're a registered user. There's many membership resources that are available on the nasco.org website, so please use those resources. And if you have any questions, like Glenn said, reach out to us. This is all a new learning experience, so we're all learning together, and we just really want to make sure that we have these tools available for our members. If we are furloughed, we will have a process in place. So if anyone is not able to submit their FSA 444 this week, we will have a process and we'll post that online and on the app so that non-members, can still get signed up even if we would be in a furlough situation. So we just wanted to let you know that we will be prepared in the event something happens. The only other thing I wanted to mention is that we do have some reports that are available out of the app. So we can have provided a listing of everyone that has been added to the app already with their personal email address and whether or not they have registered their account. So area execs have been provided this information and they can send this out to the states. Please, please, please communicate with your members that have not registered their accounts, or maybe they haven't even provided their email address yet, because they need to take these additional steps. And with that, unless Glenn has anything else to add, we will shoot it over to Donna Hines.
Hey guys. So before I get started, I wanted to mention that if y'all have any questions, to please put them in the Q&A portion for the Teams event, and to please answer the poll that's out there in the Teams event. So with that, let's start with who has been uploaded into the app. So members as of 12/2/2022, so December 2nd, were imported into the app. And then the membership team is constantly adding more as we receive updates. So after that, welcome emails were sent out on March 20th, 2023, and members started activating their accounts. And then the app was active at that point. So if your members don't have access and want the app, there are instructions posted to the website, and they'll be shared to social media shortly on how to obtain access by going to the App Store and downloading that app. If you don't get access immediately by following that tutorial, then that means that you were not on the initial download. You will need to click Join NASCO on the main NASCO page. There's a button in the middle of the page. It says Join NASCO. So if you don't get immediate access by following the tutorial, you will need to click that Join NASCO button. And what will happen is you will be placed on a workflow, and the membership team will validate your membership with your state, and then we will approve your access as soon as possible. So please make sure you use your personal email address that was provided to your state association to complete this process. And just a little bit of troubleshooting. If you are downloading the app from your app store right now, and all you're seeing is the Northeast Area Rally event, that means that you were not in the initial download. and you'll need to be associated with a state membership type. So please, at that point, go to the NASCO webpage, click that Join NASCO button, pick your state association. So if you're, Arkansas or Texas or whatever state you're in, click that state type and click, fill out what needs to be filled out. And then you'll go through the workflow process and you'll get approved after we validate with your state. And just remember, this is a work in progress. We didn't have everyone's personal email address when we started all of this, but we're constantly adding more people as we receive that information. And again, my email is on the website. All the membership team is on the website. So if you guys need help or run into anything, please reach out, and we're here. And it's pretty quick to usually kind of troubleshoot things and fix any kind of issues that you may be having. So that's really all I had to share. I'll kick it, I guess, back to Joel.
Well, I'd like to thank everybody for jumping on tonight. I realize that a lot of you were expecting some great breaking news regarding the potential government shutdown. Fortunately, we don't have a lot of information other than what Clinton and David provided earlier. We will keep you up to date on what's going on. Like I explained earlier, that will be done through the app because we just can't send out emails, that many mass emails, because before it starts costing us a lot of money. We are in like I said earlier, we are in communication with the national office. We've offered our services. Like in 2019, we had some we had a tab on our webpage that had some information. And like I said, there's lots of you that may not have been through a furlough before. As you can look at me as I'm getting ready for my South Dakota State Hobo Day beard and getting into the homecoming festivities. I've been around a little bit, so just don't panic. We'll be fine. There's a lot of unknowns. Every one of them's different. Hopefully, we don't have a government shutdown. But regardless, at the end of the day, this app is going to be the way we communicate in the future. So if you have any questions, put them in the chat, and we will get back to try to get them answered for you. And just keep looking at the website, the app, for updated information. We have a great team put together to lead us through this process. So, like I said, hopefully it doesn't come to be. But if it does, we will be here for you as much as we can. So, anybody have anything else to say before we let you all have your evening back? I know a lot of you can't speak, so okay. Just remember October 12th, or that Thursday. When did I say that meeting was going to be? We'll be back together for an all-member meeting. Actually, this is a pretty good trial run to have it, to consider the, I gotta look at my notes here. To conclude our Secretary of State merger, October 12th at 7 Central. And it may seem like a simple process for the Secretary of State merger. It has not been. It's been complicated working with two states, but at the end of the day, NASCO from a business standpoint, will be in a much better position to serve our members for not just the foreseeable future, but for a long time in the future. So with that, I want to say good evening. Enjoy the rest of your week. We're getting a little moisture here in northeast South Dakota, so it's kind of slowed up harvest a little bit. So, but with that, have a good evening, and enjoy your weekend coming up. Just remember, only worry about the things you can control. Hey, thank you.
Thank you, Joel.